In the last 48 hours, what Donald Trump as our president has reminded us all is how and why he was able to file 6 bankruptcies and get away with it because of the fact that he started out as a 10-year-old with $1 million. Because when you have someone else's monopoly money, you can do a lot of things that other people can't do. And after the chaos in this breaking story that you've seen on Wall Street due to the promise of tariffs, how might we describe Donald Trump? Grifter, thief, manipulator, commander in cash. I'll tell you how I would describe him. I'm going to show you the breaking story as to why in just a few seconds. I would describe him as a domestic financial abuser. The person who does what they do to their partner over and over again, damaging them, and then goes out when they get really close to the edge and buys a diamond ring and all is forgiven. Let us take mention of this fact right here of what just happened yesterday. Take a listen. Bloomberg News reports the world's richest people added $304 billion to their combined net worth, the largest one-day gain in the history of the Bloomberg Billionaires Index after Trump pledged to pause tariffs for some countries. Billionaires score best ever day as stocks soar on tariff pause. And then, of course, you'll always find somebody somewhere over in Trumposphere, usually on Fox News, who will try to say that they're going to justify this manipulation of the stock market and the game by saying this.
I don't want to say this because I'm a patriot. I'm an American. But it is the White House who capitulated based on everything I hear and all my sources. And the reason why is because of the bond market and what happened last night. Bessent knows this better than anybody. When you have yields on the 10-year rising to 5%, stuff starts shutting down when you have the lending markets screwed up. By the way, who was dumping the bonds? Somebody asked them if it was China, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't. It was Japan. While he was negotiating with Japan, according to my sources, who are running major money management firms that are involved in the bond market without giving up names, Japan was dumping bonds because they believed this was not a great place to do business. That forced their hands. Now, what you can say, I think, legitimately here, is Trump decided to take the win. And here's why. There was overwhelmingly, deal potential here among the entire world, except for maybe China, right? Everybody really wanted something. So he did take the win.
But when it's all said and done, in this breaking story, we know who Donald Trump is, and we know exactly what he was doing, why he was doing it, because all those poor people in this country that voted for him who think he cares about them because they're patriots. No, he only cares about having his buddies at the White House and talking about how much cash he just made them. Here is the story.
This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad, because he's in financials. I've always been following.
You get this constant argument from conservatives, especially conservatives with a little bit of money, go, hey man, it's capitalism. This is what America's built on. Capitalism's one thing, criminal activity is another. And when you sit in the highest office in the land, if you don't think this doesn't look, if you don't think and understand that this isn't exactly how oligarchs and dictators begin to run a country, then you don't know anything about history whatsoever, because this is exactly how it's done. That piece of video of Trump standing in the Oval Office, pointing at a friend, people clapping, he made 2.5 million, he made this 100 billion. That conversation is exactly how America hasn't been run on the surface, affecting the folks down below. But the transfer of wealth, whether it's Social Security, whether it's 401k plans, whatever it may be, moving all of that money, yet you're still going to have people who somehow manage to convince themselves when we get to the next election, when GOP nominees, and when conservatives run for office and they start talking about socialism, there will still be people, while their retirement accounts get drained, who actually are more afraid of socialism than realizing these clowns are taking everything from them. And that is why Donald Trump is a domestic financial abuser. Sometimes you just got to walk and figure it out later. America, it's time to walk and get these people out of office. You guys stay frosty.